All right, here we go. Good morning, guys. Welcome back to the channel. David here with another early morning cryptocurrency update from the office. Today's video, guys, is going to be pretty important. I'm going to try not to say the words understand or okay too many times today, but be sure to share this video with your friends and family, like, and definitely comment down below. Let's jump into our heat map here. I think that our microphone is plugged in. Everything is good to go. We should be on and popping. Hopefully we will have no distractions or interruptions this morning, guys. So again, welcome back to the channel. And as we look into the heat map, as we can all tell over the last few days, that the cryptocurrency market has been hurting. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to kind of get into a little bit of what currency is, and that's gonna be the topic of today's video, guys, is what is currency? Because as we look at the history of what a currency is and we really start to dissect it, and then we look at websites like this, like Trading Economics, that are trying to show us the history, you know. And so if you look at the chart, this is a chart of the Mexican peso. The question is, what are we going to do? What are we doing? Do you live in Mexico? Do you live in Brazil? Do you live in Venezuela? And if you live in one of these places, or America, or Europe, you are living through a time in history that is extremely important for you to be paying attention to. It's not a time in history for you or me to be going through this, questioning the future of finance. Because as we look at this chart here, from 1980 or before to 2016, look at the increase in the valuation of the currency. And we'll get a thing here, decreased in value. And so you see 2019, we're starting to see reductions in value. So as we're going to go through some of these some of these currencies, trying to figure out what it is that has happened in history, you have to realize we're calling crypto currency. And if we're going to call it currency, you're going to have to start to put it in these type of categories. So that's why when you look at a chart like this from 1968, understand that by the time 2040 or 50 comes, the year, we're going to be looking at charts like this for Bitcoin and for XRP and for the mainstay currencies. That's why if you look at these comparatives and you read what's really going on here with the historical valuation of some of these currencies, okay, this is going to be the important thing to watch out for, because they compare everything in a valuation to the dollar, okay? So we got to get into what the worst performing currencies are, because everybody tries to make points that cryptocurrency is going to zero and that it's bullshit and you can't do anything with it. The question is, if you compare your cryptocurrency to an actual currency, do you understand how many different real currencies there are? I think that would be something fun for us to try and find out. Number of fiat currency. Let's see. Let's see what Yahoo does. I don't really search Yahoo too much. Maybe this is why, because it doesn't give you anything. So I think we got to go to Google. Google, let's see if we can talk. Number of fiat currencies in the world. It worked.
According to Travelex, well, as you may have guessed from the title, there are 180 current currencies across the world, as recognized by the United Nations.
180, okay? That's recognized by the United Nations. So there's 180 fiat currencies in the world. So if you were to look on the chart of cryptocurrencies, which we can pull up, I think if we went here and we go back a couple pages, back to Yahoo, we can get our results list here. If you look at the list here, guys, of your cryptocurrencies, even just this list here, when they show you the top 25, I think, this list of cryptocurrencies, if we could use the hypothetical that it's going to stay, if if these are the 13 currencies that we're going to use to move the cryptocurrency market forward, if we decided to get rid of all of the other currencies, all the other 2,500 cryptocurrencies under these 25, what would this look like if we were to compare these valuations to the dollar? Just like when you open up your Binance accounts, it shows you the percentage of Bitcoin that you own in comparison to the crypto that you hold. Just like if you have a stock account, it'll show you how much dollar you hold in comparison to the stocks that you own. So, like I said, as we move forward, I think we're going to start to be comparing the XRP price and the Ethereum price solely to other currencies. These at some point will make it onto the list of real fiat currencies, even though fiat currencies in and of themselves are 100% failure rate, return to their true value, which is zero. Every currency. That's like, if you look at this list right here, okay? This is the 12 worst performing currencies in the world. This isn't cryptocurrencies. This is just fiat paper currencies. So, as we look at this as a whole, understand these valuations are never, understand that I say this, they are never coming back. There is not going to be a time when the Argentinian peso gets back this 500%, okay? That will not be happening. Let's see. Can we find a chat? Is there a chat in here? I don't know if there's a chat going on right now. Can't really see it. But if there is, maybe, I don't know. Anyway, so like I said, this will not come back, guys. The Turkish lira is not going to make back 221%. The Russian ruble will not be making back 117%. Take in mind, unless they partner with the blockchain, that's the only way it's going to happen. These markets are not suited for these fiat currencies to make back their worth unless they flip over to a blockchain-based system with an actual physical backing. We've talked about this before. It cannot be, honestly, guys, it cannot be possible for these. Now, you'll even look, the US dollar is on this chart, okay? That is really important to look at. I've told you this before, guys. This is very scary. Not scary in the sense that you're not going to be able to spend money anymore, or there's not going to be a new system coming. There will be a new system coming, okay? 3 of the worst currency devaluations in history, and one to watch for today. Okay, I'm going to read a little bit of this article to you guys because you need to understand what it is we're talking about. 3 of the biggest devaluations. Continuing the increasing trend of shocking currency developments in recent years, global foreign exchange markets have witnessed some drastic events. Venezuela, Turkey, for example, have both dominated the news of late due to their respective currency crises. A currency crisis, guys, is literally happening all over the world. Please do like this video, share, subscribe, send it to your Twitters, all that good stuff. The Venezuelan Bolivar, 2018. The economic crisis that has engulfed the Venezuela since 2013 took a surprising turn in August 2018 as the Maduro government announced a massive 95% devaluation of the currency. It relaunched currency as the Bolivar Soberano, replacing the erstwhile Bolivar Fiat, which changed its currency code from VEF to VES. It is virtually worthless, with a whole chicken costing 14,600,000 bolivars, which is only $2.22. I've said this before. I had a girlfriend that I lived with back in Israel who is Venezuelan, who lived in Venezuela, who at the current time when I was living there in 2016 was telling me that in order for her family to go out to dinner at a restaurant, they would have to take an entire suitcase of money. Imagine taking your family out to dinner with a suitcase of money I can't even really explain it to you guys because you don't get it. You don't understand it. You all have $100 bills or $100 euro notes that are valued at that. In countries like Venezuela, you need 14 million paper notes to buy a freaking chicken. Do you hear what I'm telling you? You're going to go to the store and you're going to buy a chicken with a briefcase full of cash. And every single day you wake up, that briefcase full of cash is worth less and worth less and worth less. That's exactly the trajectory, the future-looking statements. That's the future-looking statements for all fiat currencies. So that's why we need to start to look at currencies that are not controlled by the governments. So this is the valuation chart for USD, okay? The Zimbabwean dollar, 2008 to 2009. Zimbabwe's former currency went from 1,000 Zimbabwe dollar per USD in September 2008 to 300 trillion several months later in February 09. This is the bill you guys can all look at, the Zimbabwe $1 trillion notes. I actually owned one of these notes. And when I bought this note, this is kind of the funny thing. It's almost like the expectation that a lot of us investors have in cryptocurrency is that we can buy the cryptocurrency and then at some point in the future, there will be a burst in the value or a burst in the use case. I can tell you for sure that the Zimbabwean dollar is gone forever. This thing is not to be returned. There's not going to be a moment when this Zimbabwe dollar comes back onto the market and they start to accept the $1 trillion notes again, or they create 10 trillion or 50 trillion dollars. Do you understand what I'm telling you guys? I said that I wasn't going to say I understand a lot. I'm sorry, Jeff, and I'm sorry, Teresa, if you guys are watching this video. Those are my words. Understand this, okay? Sorry. The economic developments in Zimbabwe impoverished the vast majority of its population of 16 million, which the 2008 and 9 crisis exacerbated when prices doubled every 24 hours at its peak. That'd be like going to the supermarket and the cost of your chicken or the cost of your milk is literally going up, 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 100% every 24 hours. That would not be good. That'd be like looking at the reverse, guys, and it'd be like every day you woke up and your cryptocurrencies were doubling in value every day or going down 100% in value every single day. If we woke up tomorrow and XRP was valued at half of where it's at now, 14 cents or whatever, or if we woke up the day after that and it was worth 7 cents, and we woke up the day after that and it was worth 3 cents, and we woke up the day after that and it was worth a penny and a half. Every single day, if you woke up and XRP's price was literally halving itself and just devaluation after devaluation, that's exactly what we're saying here. Every currency in the world is on this trajectory. No matter what country you live in, the British pound sterling, I told you guys this in a few videos ago, is the longest running fiat currency in the world. Over 300 years old. And that is something that you have to remember. A fiat currency, the British pound sterling, that was at one point backed by a precious metal that in its creation had a specific number of silver coins correlating to a specific number of bills. That cannot happen again. And the only way that it can happen again is if they revalue the dollars through the blockchain. Once they revalue their dollars through the blockchain and they give their country access to a country-wide blockchain that is a borderless transacting entity that has no restrictions, that has no governmental entity restricting it and preventing its usage from being accepted or utilized on a worldwide or mainstream level, that's going to be what it takes. The German mark, this is something we also talked about, guys, was the German gold. What was it called? I want to try and remember it before I read it. I'm not gonna. Germany descended into chaos in 1923 as its currency, the mark, quickly devalued before World War I in 1914. A U.S. dollar was equivalent to 4 German marks, increasing to 70 in 1920. 1923, the country was crippled by the cost of World War I and the subsequent reparation payments it had to pay to other countries. As Germans became increasingly desperate with uprisings occurring across the country, we see uprisings occurring today all over the place. France, Italy is going to have one. Greece just had one. Egypt had one. Venezuela is getting close to having one. I mean, there's places in this world that are changing the way that their government forces them to interact. And understand, this is the government forcing you to interact like this, okay? There is nothing that's happening. There's nothing that's happening that you'd be able to show me otherwise, okay? Literally nothing. We looked at this. Like I said, these are things that you got to understand. Now, here is something. Oh, don't tell me that I lost the article. I did. Bummer. Looks like it's gone. There was an article that I had up here, guys, that that was speaking about the worst performing currencies and why it's important to know those currencies. And the first thing that it pointed out was a tripista, I think was the word that they used. And the reason why they brought that word up is because if you're going to be traveling, okay, this is going to be something that we as cryptocurrency holders are going to be experiencing in the future. Even we could be experiencing it now, okay? If you wanted to travel and you have your cryptocurrency wallet full of different currencies, cryptocurrencies, some of those currencies are going to be performing better than others. You're going to get a better exchange rate for some of those currencies in specific countries than you would others. That's why there's websites and there's certain articles that have been written trying to show us the countries that we can travel to that give you the best exchange. Ooh, maybe this is it. No, I doubt it. Oh, this is a whole nother website. No, definitely not it. But yeah, they're going to show you the countries that you get the most bang for your buck. Ooh, that might be it. Let's try and look that up. We can't. Yahoo, man. What a crappy little website Yahoo is, huh? Google. Okay. So, countries with the most bang for your buck. Oh, this could yield some really dirty responses. Destinations where your dollar will go really far. All right, that sounds like a good one. Okay, let's click that one. Hopefully this is not some clickbait. 2018. Okay, let's read this a little bit, guys. We got, ooh, look how beautiful that is. See, imagine that you could travel to wherever the heck this is. Yeah? You're going to travel here. And then you're going to get bang for your buck while you're there. So this is what I was saying, is that there's going to be a time, guys, where you're going to be able to use or choose the crypto that you access or that you spend with in that specific country. So if you're going to be traveling in China, you can either use your Bitcoin or your Ether, because Bitcoin and Ether is such a widely utilized technology in China. When China decides to let some of the restrictions off, it will obviously be a little bit more easy to transact or utilize. But if you were going to travel to Europe, or if you were going to travel to Israel, if you were going to travel to America, let's say you were going to travel to America, San Francisco, for example. Now, we have to look in the future because the technologies aren't that fluid yet. But we got to look into the future, that when you go to these places, the exchange rate that you'll have for your XRP as opposed to your Bitcoin, you might be getting more bang for your buck to use XRP in America, like you would be getting more bang for your buck to use Bitcoin in China. As the new year starts to get underway, now this was written at the beginning of 2018. As the new year starts to get underway and people begin plotting out their travel for the year, savvy travelers set up flight tracking and email alerts to get the best deals on their trips. One of the best ways to save on costs can be simpler. Is that a word? Can be simpler? maybe that is a word, can be simpler than trying to figure out your own flight deal algorithm. While the US dollar isn't quite as strong as it is in recent years, US currency is still enjoying a favorable exchange rate in a number of countries. So whether you're looking to lie on a beach in Southeast Asia or explore a European capital, there are a plethora of options. Using data sourced from travel advisory, Smarter Travel, and travel site Hipmunk, here are 14 of the best destinations to get bang for your US buck. Now, I can imagine that Euro is going to correlate a lot to this as well. There's going to be drawing a lot of the same correlations to spending Euro. South Africa. Very cool. I have a couple of friends in South Africa. We have some friends in South Africa. If your country pops up on this list, drop in. Let's set up a meeting there. Let's get everybody to your country and let's start to get some bang for your buck. Let's see. What is next? Mexico. Unfortunately, I will not be going to Mexico anytime soon. My family has a big trip planned to Mexico, and I have opted out. That's not a place that I'm going to be traveling. Norway. Norway sounds beautiful. Let's see. Where else? New Zealand. I know we have some viewers from New Zealand here. That's for sure. Travel plus leisure. Indonesia. Japan. That's cool. We can all go visit Crypto Eddie. India. So yeah, it's really, honestly, this is getting back to, it's getting back to a lot of the same countries. Iceland, a lot of the countries that are making some of the worst performing currency lists. Croatia, Chile, Argentina, Canada, Brazil. Definitely Brazil, guys. Definitely Brazil. Let's jump onto Twitter and see if we can figure out what's going on this morning, guys. University of Cambridge Blockchain Society. Join us for an evening with R3. That's cool. R3 is going to be doing something with the University of Cambridge Blockchain Society. That's always good. You guys got to follow. Look here. It says Bank XRP. Go follow these people. Definitely go follow Bank XRP. Let's see. What else do we got here? Hyperledger. Paris FinForum begins tomorrow, January 29th and 30th. Very cool. 2019. And will address all key issues at the heart of the news of digital finance and fintech, in panel discussions and interviews with Brian. All right, CKJ, the race to replace Bitcoin, old. The history of Ripple Labs, very old. Amazing read. The race to replace Bitcoin. So that's going to be something exciting to see, guys, is what's going to be the currency, not that replaces Bitcoin, because a lot of us do believe that Bitcoin is going to have that store of value, that use case in the future as we go forward. Love for crypto, Bank of England, Future of Money. The Bank of England Future Forum culmination event. Buy your own ledger here, guys. Again, Bank XRP. I don't follow that many people, so whoever your favorite Twitter guys are, whoever your favorite YouTubers are, definitely comment it down below. MoneyGram to reconstruct debt, could seek buyer. Money Transfer News, MoneyGram is working to reconstruct its debt after losing the sale to Ant Financial. Ant Financial, I think, is a Chinese-owned company that the government shut down. Digital asset investor, Ripple recap and cheap deals on Tron, Monero, Ripple, XRP, Cardano, and EOS. Rachel Lee. We've heard this before, guys. I don't know if you guys have done too much of this, but that pops me in. So you guys see that little picture here on Rachel Lee's, her little thing right there? What do they call it? Little thumbnail? Google. We got to go to, what was it? The Economist. No. Economics cover 1988. What was it? Yeah, 88, I think. Boom. If you guys haven't seen this before, this is probably why Rachel Lee has this as her. Oh, what is this? Has the 1988 economics. Oh, is this a? Oh, this is a Bitcoin website. Okay, that's funny. I didn't mean to do that, guys. I didn't even really look. to be honest with you. But has the 1988 Economist magazine prediction come true? Look at the cover here. But let's read this article. This will be pretty interesting. Published January 1980, the article titled, "Get Ready for the Phoenix. 30 years later, has the Phoenix risen at last?" So, I need you guys to kind of focus in on what this picture is. It's the Phoenix rising out of the ashes of multiple fiat currencies. This is not just US dollar, but you see US dollar and you see foreign bills here. Okay? Now, the one thing to notice is that the Phoenix is wearing a gold coin. Okay? The question is what is that gold coin representing? That's the exciting thing, is that this magazine in 1988 called for a 2018 full-on complete